Hello guys, my name is Kaimana Kane, and today I'm going to be giving you a book review on what is climate change. So the book starts off by talking about Hudson, Alaska. So I'll show you in the beginning. So Hudson, Canada. Sorry. Sometimes I get mixed up between Canada and Alaska. So it was talking about because climate change, greenhouse gases. They're putting heat gases into the atmosphere, and we can't smell, we can't taste, and we can't see the greenhouse gases. But what it's doing is it's heating up the earth. So that's why. But at that time, it was actually freezing up the earth. So the Hudson birds, they couldn't go in the water to fetch ring-sealed otters. I mean, not that included ring and then like seals and otters. Like they couldn't fetch it in the water because the water had a lot of ice, and they couldn't swim in ice, or else you'd be like trapped in there for a variety of time. But climate change, Earth's climate has been getting warmer. But, the Hudson bears, since they couldn't eat, they're actually getting skinnier. And it shows not a complete chart. But here's a polar bear from Hudson Bay from the 1980s. Good, fat. But a polar bear in Hudson Bay from 2016. It's saying that since the earth was freezing up, all the water, it was actually freezed, so they couldn't go in the water and fetch otters and seals and stuff like that. So, again, the greenhouse gases get trapped in the atmosphere, and this has been going on it's been happening for more than 1 billion years or more. And it also just the reason why this book is so kind of big is because it's full of charts and stuff. I could flip over, usually in the middle of the book. Kind of like right here. The sun reflects on the rays go, just something. If you read the title, I'll give you a few seconds. So, the heat killed all the animals, and there's this thing called water chemistry. And so the Great Barrier Reef, it has a bunch of colorful fish, has a bunch of underwater sponges, thousands of islands. Scientists have actually gained proof, and not exactly proof, but they've inferred that something's gonna happen because it's the water chemistry. And I don't know if it's true or not, but it said the waters had been going up to 135 degrees. Which is really hot, and I don't think the water got up to that high. So I think this book has had a little bit of tall talk, and basically tall talk is basically exaggerating about some stuff. Like everyone's, the Earth's heating up, and all the animals are gonna die, and humans are gonna be losing families and friends more sooner now and stuff like that. But here's the thing. Climate change, it's not gonna happen for a bunch of years. And if people say the Earth's getting colder, what melted the Ice Age? Boom. So it's just a little tall talk, this book, and that's why I just don't believe some of the stuff in here. So it talks a lot about the ice melting, and we give the trees code 2. I think that's how you pronounce it, and it gives us oxygen. And because people with droughts, we have no water. With no water, we don't have any trees. No trees, no oxygen. And then no oxygen, it's not going to be like the Earth's atmosphere will be space where we can't breathe. But it's going to be like it's going to be really bad air quality, and there's going to be some smog in the air because all the factories, well, they're building fossil fueled machineries like cars, or like even like just some unpopular other machines, like but like if there's no fossil the no with before people started using fossil fuel, the it's like it's a type of chemical. It was really high, and that's basically a good thing. But when there is that type of chemical, some other chemicals go down. So when the chemicals go down, the greenhouse gases go up. So it's just a lot of thing. And they back then scientists like kind of estimated that it was 0 to 15 Fahrenheit, which was it was a really harsh time for people because back then they didn't have warmers. They didn't have like fully make you warm clothes. They didn't have blankets. Well, they might have had, but not the blankets that keep us really cozy, warm, and fuzzy to this very day. But it varies in hot and cold, and it just explains it in this book. But there's not a lot of stuff to do, and since there's a lot of rain, causes landslides. So it's just basically one big idea explaining small little bits of it, including the water chemistry, including all the droughts, including all the ice melting, and including all the tall talk about, oh, everyone's gonna die sooner than the scientists expected. But sometimes you can't believe everything you see. Like, for example, this book. You can't believe that, well, the polar ice caps are melting rapidly and water levels are going to go up because all the polar caps, well, what's the form of ice that's melted? There's this thing called water. So the ocean is made up of water, and since people say the water is rising, greenhouse gases are going to be in the air and melt all the polar ice caps, so we need to evacuate. And it's actually kind of helping because there's this thing called permafrost. It's basically a layer in the ground with very cold places, but since the Earth's heating up, well, it melts the permafrost, and some houses are getting dropped into the ocean. So now people are going to have to spend more money to move their houses closer to the coast. But then maybe a few years later, it will get smaller and they have to move it away from the coast. So climate change can actually drain people's money in some ways. So Earth's climate has been getting warmer, and greenhouse gases are the cause of the climate change. Our planet is experiencing record floods, droughts, and storms. So those were the 3 facts on the back of the book. And here you can see the 3 facts. So there's actually, I don't know why they put the pictures in the middle of the book this time. Oh, here's a chart. Here's the interglacial period, and here's the glacial period. So here's a New York City power plant from the early 1900s. Here's the view of the Raid Glacier, and here's the view of the Raid Glacier in Glacier Bay National Park, Alaska, 2013. And it's basically like a comparison of the View Raid Glacier, or however you pronounce it, because supposedly the greenhouse gases are actually melting the polar ice caps. But also the sun has some part of it too. I mean, the sun, it's really hot on the sun. And, well, there's this thing called heat, and it's basically, it could go through the magnetic fields, and it actually goes over the same thing again and again, and like the sun, like, say for example, on page 30 it says, like, the sun could go through the magnetic field, and it's also helping melt the polar ice caps. But then on page 43 it says, the sun is melting all the ice, so the water levels will be rising. And well, it's just a lot to talk about. Which one was I on? I believe this one. And here's some other pictures. And here's some other pictures. Here's the flash flood. Because of all the storms and stuff like that. Here's a drought. Here's wildfires. Oh, I didn't talk about wildfires. So since the earth is heating up, when something gets really hot, well, it could start wildfires. And that's how all the trees have been like dying and stuff like that. So it's just all about protecting the trees, protecting the environment, and giving like kind of proof, but yet tall talk about how climate change is real and how climate changes in some parts are not real. So this is my last what was science and technology books. There's a next set. It's called What Were the Creatives? So I'm really excited to read about that, but it has a bunch of stuff I didn't look at the titles yet, so maybe it'll be a surprise. Here's some bibliography and some timelines. So that's it for the What is Science and Technology book reviews. So I hope you liked my book review. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and see you out of here.